Yeah, good evening all. We've received a series of messages, private messages, requesting that we should come up with additional videos addressing coding, addressing analysis and all that. And considering the fact that the bulk of our participants are people that are just using SPSS for the first time, we have to oblige that request. So we'll come up with a video, like 20-25 minutes video on coding. We dropped one about last week, so we'll come up with another one. That the previous one that we dropped, we had more questions, so we'll come up with one with shorter questions, and we'll try to combine methods also. Then we'll also come up with a relatively short video for the analysis proper also. So we'll see if we can upload them both today, coupled with our video recording, our recording on a Microsoft Team for Sunday's class. So we really appreciate the fact that the bulk of the participants are relatively new to SPSS. So as a result, we have to start from scratch, and we know that a tool that you just start using might be confusing at times. So we understand that fact, and we have to really take our time to ensure you get it, because everything starts with coding, particularly when you are dealing with primary data. Is either you give hard copy questionnaire that you have to code manually, or you use any of these tools, Google Form and all that, to generate responses, which you can easily copy and paste and all that. So, but it starts with coding, and once you don't understand the logic behind coding, it becomes pretty difficult. So we also run an analysis using another questionnaire entirely. So we'll see how we can make the first objective to be something related to the strength of the relationship, something related to the direction of the relationship. Sorry, not strength. Direction of the relationship that will require us using correlation. So while the second one will look at maybe an influence or an effect that will require the use of regression. So at least with that, we'll be able to run the analysis using correlation. We'll also run the analysis using regression. So at least you would have gotten those two. Then we'll do another video, which should be the third one, on reliability test. You know, you can't just code your data and start analyzing. Oftentimes, there's what we call pre-estimation test. Most of these tools that we use, they have their assumptions. You know, most times if you want to run your regression, you use the linear. And if you're using linear, it is based on the assumption of OLS. It is assumed that your data are normally distributed and all that. So we have about 7 assumptions of OLS, and your data must conform with the first 6. The 7th one is optional, but the first 6 are compulsory before you can use linear regression OLS. Then if your data do not conform with the assumption, there are other kinds of regression that you can use. Logit, what we call logistic regression. We have what we call ordinary regression. We have categorical regression, and so many others. Then that also brings us to what we call the parametric test and non-parametric test. So parametric tests also have assumptions. Your data has to also be normally distributed. There's about 3 assumptions. So when your data don't have those properties, those characteristics, you have to use any of the non-parametric tools. So those ones are discussion for another day. So, but we are going to look at reliability, because validity, you can do it, even phase validity is accepted in most places. You can do what we call content validity index. You give it to experts, and they rate it on 2 scale, relevant and non-relevant. Then thereafter, you run your calculation. So that one is relatively easy, but the reliability is a little bit complicated. So we'll do a very short video on reliability. So reliability tells you how reliable your data is, so which is also key. So and if your data is not reliable, then something is wrong. And that is why it is always advisable we carry out what we call pilot studies before we even do our major work, if you are a master's student and you're writing your dissertation, always do a pilot studies. For example, you are working on the banking sector, you can do a pilot study on few insurance companies, or maybe few microfinance banks. If you're using the commercial bank, you can use few microfinance banks. So most times it is recommended that you use 10% of your respondents. You would have done your methodology. You now know, okay, my population is 20,000. I'm using Taro Yamane, Rausoft, or any sample size determination formula. You had so. So for example, if your sample size is 300, you are expected to use 30 for your pilot study. So pilot study, you will use an industry or a sector that is outside what you want to. For example, maybe you are targeting private universities in Southwest. Your study is for example, the effect of motivation on the performance of private university lecturers in Southwest. So you can go to Kogi State, it's outside Southwest, and pick maybe like 2 private universities, then do your pilot studies there. If you're working on the manufacturing sector in Southwest, you can pick some few manufacturing firms, employees of some few manufacturing firms in maybe like Edo State or any state outside to Southwest. So we can always do that. Pilot studies helps you to solve a lot of problems, because once you are done with your pilot studies, you can easily do your pre-estimation test. Even with the pilot studies, you do your reliability or validity. So, and the most commonest one is what we call crowback alpha. We have so many other ones. We have split half. We have so many. So, but crowback alpha seems to be the most prominent. And alpha within the range of 0.7 above to 1 is adjudged reliable. So, however, some scholars have told us that no, even if it is 0.6, like Mallory, that is the position of Mallory, that even if it is 0.6, it is still reliable. So after your reliability test, you quote one or two authorities, and say, according to so person, if it is a figure of so. So, but when you now discover that is giving you 0.5, 0.4, 0.2, then there is need for you to go back to your questionnaire and recheck again. So we'll do all that. We'll do the coding, 20 minutes. We do the analysis. We ensure it's not more than 20 minutes or so. Then we'll do the reliability, 20 minutes. So the analysis will ensure we'll cover correlation and regression. So short videos like that, 20 minutes is not too much for you to view. And if you are running it on your own, you can always watch the video and do it yourself. It's key.